My fellow Amazonians, this is Dr. Chuayawa. Yesterday I made an official address and I wanted to maintain that address to be focused on its object and not to divert on little issues around the address. There is another issue I would like to address with you people today, which is very important. Since 2019, our school year has begun in October, and that has been a standard practice. The Amazonian Governing Council has determined that the most effective school year for Amazonia should begin in January. It is a practice by so many countries across the globe, including Amazonia at its infancy. I have advised the Department of Education that such radical departure from what our people are used to should be done gradually. So we do more education, explanation, answer questions, clarify concerns. Bui, the state of Bui, had instituted the January commencement month long ago. Momo has always, like most other states, begun its school year in October. We know fully well that Cameroon intends to win this war through propaganda, deception and manipulation. It has coined a word called normalcy. It uses normalcy to distinguish the period of heightened tension and warfare with the period of calm. So it equates normalcy to victory. All wars are the same. In most liberation wars, when you hear they fought for 30 years, there were some 2 years there was no fighting. In a particular year, sometimes you have 5 months no fighting. So it's normal scenario. The Cameroon has always tried to use all of these things to its advantage because it believes that our people are ill-informed. So in its strategy of creating a semblance of normalcy, so we begin to fight with ourselves, people questioning, things have returned to normal as if war is chaos. War is not perpetual chaos. And I've always told our people, you succeed in liberation war 30% and you win the war. So far, ghost towns have succeeded an average of 70%. Self-defense, we still fight in 13 states, not at the same level. That's normal situation in a liberation war. There will be an escalation. Like in the South African liberation struggle, it took the Soweto uprising to be able to alter certain situations and reignite the spirit of resistance. So I have constantly explained this so people are not worried. Cameroon has had 2 things to handle. The ghost towns on Mondays. It has been a big bone in their throat. They have tried as much as possible to stop it, because for them, stopping it means a defeat to collective resistance and a return to its normalcy and victory. The second has been schools. All of these things were called by the consortium. And so for Cameroon, defeating these 2 collective resistance strategy will be important for them. That is why we have made sure that our school year is totally different from that of Cameroon. They cannot change theirs to align with us, even though it will not alter anything. So they want to win. And we cannot grant them that opportunity. I reported to you people some times ago that Cameroon, through the Swiss government or the Swiss negotiation bloc, had reached out to those who were in Switzerland to ask if they could suspend the ghost towns, even for a while. Mr. Chris Anu and Mr. Sako had floated that idea, which I think you people resisted violently, including myself. I am giving this background information to explain what has happened between yesterday and today. I announced yesterday that was 2 days ago, on Thursday, that I was going out to be able to announce the commencement of the new school year and to explain a couple of other issues. We need to constantly remind our people of these things. When I made that announcement, within a few hours, the Chris Anus, the Akwangas, Fontaines, and others, they reach out that they will need to speak to me concerning the commencement of schools before my outing. And I said, whoa, wow, maybe this is an opportunity for all of us to be on the same page. And so I suspended my outing. And I went for the meeting. I took the head of the education department of the AGOVC and the chairman of the Ambassador Education Board. We went into the meeting. That's when we realized they had already agreed that schools will resume mid-September. And I explained to them clearly that you are going to institute a lot of confusion with this kind of a decision 1 month to the commencement of the new school year. If you want to alter the date, give our people 1 year to prepare. You can't simply get up in August and you announce that the Amazonian school year begins in September. So it's a long meeting, up and down. My team explained to them how school commencement are tied to the curriculum of education, and said we will be willing to sit down in specialized groups and discuss with them, bringing in the curriculum of education so that they understand how school year commencement are set. We trashed that, and they wanted an agreement on the issue of the commencement of school year, and there was no agreement. And I said to them, listen, we will go with the standard practice that has been since 2019, that our school year commenced immediately after our Independence Day celebration, and that they can go with theirs. That's for me not a problem. And I was not interested in fighting any announcement they make or saying anything, because we can still differ and move forward explaining our own position without attacking others. It didn't take 5 hours. They had put out a communique, putting my name in the communique, and talking about an agreement, as if that was not enough. I told them immediately I saw the communique, I said, listen, you have to withdraw this. You can put out your communique without my names. We've not been working together or anything. You just ask for a meeting, and you can simply just, if I make an agreement with you people, it will be certified by the AGOVC. I can't just go out, make agreements, and then fly it over. I will notify the AGOVC executive to make sure it's consistent with policy. And I gave them 12 hours, take out my name from your publications, publish your statement as members of whatsoever you've created. They didn't do it. That's why I issued a communique yesterday. And to get up this morning, they've taken my picture, put it together with these other gentlemen. These are gentlemen that we entered a meeting. None of them had the time to sit in that meeting to talk. Akwanga had something to do. Chris Anu had something to do. They had to just make their contribution and leave. Kometa was at work. They did not have the patience to sit in that meeting and discuss the issues. And my suspicion is somebody is calling the shots. I don't think these guys were doing this stuff for Ambazonia. I don't think they were doing this stuff for Ambazonia, because if they had Ambazonia's interest at heart, they would know that none of them who sat in that meeting is running a school. We are running schools of more than 7,000 people that cost money. They are not running a single school. And so they would have even had the courtesy to say, okay, can we consult with those that are running schools? The different barracks that are overseeing education. They didn't. On whose behalf are they making this announcement? An announcement that brings us back to the same calendar year with La République du Cameroon. So I'm doing this audio to clarify a lot of things, because some people believe that, no, I went and sat with these people and had an agreement. No, I was just called into a meeting and discussed and disagreed and went our separate ways. And they went and carried my name, carried my picture to legitimize a fraud. This is why we don't have collaboration in this struggle, because of bad faith actors, people with nefarious agendas, people with the desire to satisfy external actors, and they must insist on using others for such ulterior motives. The Ambazonian school year will commence on the 2nd of October, and our people should stick to it. I read a statement from Bara Mag, and was trying to run down Ambazonia the same way you find. I don't know why people can't feel proud of themselves. They cannot take pride in what we have achieved. They are trying to poke holes in the name of being objective, publicly being objective. You're giving Cameroon a narrative. I do not understand why Ambazonians don't believe that Cameroon is not returning. That all what you are seeing is the last stage of every regime of occupation's collapse. So we are trying to run down ourselves. We are trying to make as if, the thousands of men in arms who are buying arms on a daily basis somehow will be dismantled by Cameroon. We are not seeing the progress. All of our opinions, we have to put it out there just to be heard, just to be read from. Everybody has something to say. We are experimenting on other things rather than supporting what has been established and worked. Just imagine that the consortium put out no school, and we say, well, the schools must return. Imagine the consortium said, well, there will be a ghost towns on Monday. We say our own must be on Tuesday. Why can't we, as a people who want freedom, somehow just follow what others have said? Why is there this lack of humility? So our struggle is not because we lack areas of common purpose. It is because of bad faith actors who have their ego, and they have nothing to show for. They have virtually nothing to show for. And it's not bad just to be somebody with a voice. But sometimes you must know the limit of when you are going to talk. So our people should remain focused. What I'm seeing as I write every day to you, I'm seeing great strides. 2 days ago, our forces were planning and say, hey, we are going into Jakiri in broad daylight. We have this intelligence. I said, go for it, man. And then as we were fighting in Jakiri, I was monitoring. The others buried a soldier in the morning, in the night, they struck at Commercial Avenue. The next day, they struck again at Font Street. Across the territory, our men are fighting. They are arming themselves. You listen to the audios of the enemy, you see panic, you see fear, you see the call for genocide. Those are voices of defeat. And we must know where we are coming from, what we have achieved, and we should be positive. We should not always try to run Ambazonia down because we feel like it's going to run others down. We should not try to run Ambazonia down because we feel like because we are not part of where others are, they must come back and take us along before we will see like we have made progress. Every struggle has had its ups and downs, but people always get free as a people. And I don't think nationalists, patriots, those who believe in our independence must insist in the collapse of our resistance because they are not part of it. They already are listening to an audio, a guy called Advocate, talking how they will have to join Cameroon and fight us because we are collecting taxes. Which liberation war can they cite that did not mobilize resources through one method or the other? Tell me, how can somebody justify betraying Ambazonia because he's angry that others are collecting taxes? That tells you that they are not concerned with Ambazonia. It's personal grievance. People will feel aggrieved by the fact that the journey is continuing when they had proclaimed doomsday. They had proclaimed the end of the resistance without them. And they are shocked to still see that our people are fighting. My people, believe in yourselves. Let no one run you down. Let no one talk you down. You've been talked down for 63 years by Cameroon. People have said it's impossible. It's 7 years today. We are still fighting. Believe in Ambazonia. All the ideas, the policies that we are putting in place, they are not coming from heaven. They are best practices that we are copying and making changes that make them to reflect our own reality and the moment in history.